Hello, and welcome to Shamrock Talk, the internet's number one mother-son Celtics podcast. I'm your host, Jake Olin, here once again, virtually, with my mother, Karen Olin.
The space here wasn't big enough for the both of us,
You're
I
going to have to
guess.
pull the mic closer. I can't hear
Oh,
you that well.
okay. All right, hold on.
Here we
Better?
go. A little bit, yeah.
Is it not up loud?
There, you're good. It's fine. No, don't worry about it.
All right. The space here
All right.
obviously wasn't large enough for the both of us, so you had to go
Yes.
all the way back to Argentina.
Back to Argentina. My moving schedule does not work very well with the Celtics schedule. I moved back mid playoffs last year. Now I'm moving back for the beginning of the season. I should be coordinating this better as the host of this podcast, but can't seem to make it happen. But we're recording this afternoon of Thursday, November 2nd. At the time of recording this, the Celtics are 4-0, first in the Atlantic Division, first in the Eastern Conference, tied for first in the NBA. Pretty good start. We recorded a podcast after opening night that has not been posted. I've been moving, dropped the ball on that one. Maybe I'll throw it at the end of this. Make this an extra long one if people want to listen to that. But otherwise, we're going to go through the last three games: versus Miami, at Washington, at Indiana, and then go through some around the NBA and season thoughts and the early goings. I've not been up to date with these games. Two of these games happened as I was en route flying, so I got a little bit at the airport of Miami and such. But Mom, you're gonna have to carry us this week. I'll ask my questions and we can go through them as they go. But we'll start with Miami. Last Friday, Celtics beat the Heat 119-111. As I said, I watched a good amount of the first half in the airport of this one, which didn't look as good as the final result. So tell me what happened.
Well, I think it looked kind of like the old last year. We just started dropping the ball. First half wasn't quite so bad, but that third quarter, I don't know, we just didn't look great. And then something clicked, and I mean,
Can you put your notes on the other side? Because you look away from the microphone when you look at your notes, and I
then you can't
hear
hear
you.
me.
Yes.
I think it's because you're in Argentina.
I don't think so. I have a feeling that's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody just kind of pulled together, really. I mean, Jaylen Brown had a great night shooting, but only in the second half. Again, I think it just turned on in the second half. The first half,
Yeah.
the third quarter, we
And
looked the
it's
same.
always the Heat.
Yeah.
The stupid Heat always play us tough.
They played good defense.
They're 1-4, bottom of the Eastern Conference right now.
Oh, I know. Well, Jimmy Butler's been out for a few. He's got an injury.
They'll be back. This is what they do every year.
And Caleb Martin, which he didn't play great against us, but no, he didn't play against us. I don't think, did he? I don't think he was in this
He did
game.
not play.
No, he did not play.
Coach's decision, which is kind of interesting.
I think he's hurt. I think that's kind of part of the reason. Yeah. Josh Richardson, Highsmith didn't play. So they had a few people that were out.
Yeah.
That I think will help them out a little bit. But fourth quarter, we just I think Jaylen Brown, he was 5 for 7 in the fourth quarter. Derek White, 4 for 7, 3 for 5 from the third. I think we just had a few people that kind of started gelling a little bit and hitting a few. And they were cold. I mean, they just couldn't hit anything. I mean, Jimmy Butler was 0 for 2. He didn't score in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
At all. So I don't know. Free throws. He had some free throws. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty tight game, and then we just kind of seemed to go. There were some controversial calls. There were a couple of calls that could have gone either way.
Yep.
that they were upset about. I can't remember the specific call because it was 3 games ago, but there were a couple sort of calls that went our way. I think that that led to the win or whatever. But yeah, I think by the fourth quarter we looked a little better. We were hitting some shots, and those threes, like I said, Jaylen Brown kicked it in because again, from what I remember, I think Q1, yeah, Jaylen Brown 6 shots, 2 for 6. I mean, he wasn't great. Jason Tatum was 1 for 4. So yeah, the first quarter I didn't think we looked fantastic. Nobody was really standing out. And then I think by the fourth quarter we had some good calls, and it remained somewhat close the whole time. But yeah, yeah, I just think it looked very similar to last year. I think they played very good defense. I think Tyler Hero played, pretty well.
It's just the stupid Heat. I don't know what it is
Yeah.
about them. Every year they just have
Yeah.
our number, even without the talent. It's just they always give us a hard time.
You know who actually looked really good is Kyle Lowry. He looked slimmer. He looked uninjured. He kind of looked like the old Kyle Lowry, and I think he helped them through a lot of the game. Again, fourth quarter is somewhat disappeared, I think, but he looked really good. I thought overall. And Tyler Hero he had 28 points. Bam Adebayo. Oh, that is a good comment for the first game. I do think Porzingis is going to have some defensive struggles.
Correct.
Because I don't even think
he was the only Celtics player with a negative plus minus at -12. Everyone else was in the positive.
Bam really had his way. And more pushing, and he just doesn't have the girth that Bam Adebayo does. So I do think that was a struggle the first 3 quarters, and then I don't know why they didn't just keep giving it to Bam. In the end, but anyway, he got a little cold. I think they got tired in the end is really what happened. But but they're not doing well because I do know one of the next games, Jimmy Butler's been out for a couple. He has an injury. Kevin Love has an injury. Caleb Martin had been out, so I think that's part of there. But they're not going away. Like I said, I thought Kyle Lowry looked as good as he has in a few years. So they're much better put together than I thought. Even Duncan Robinson had a good game, and I thought he played pretty well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. They're going to be interesting. The one thing that we did do that game is we played Brissett more, which is what I did say from the Lost podcast. The Lost podcast, I did say I was kind of surprised he didn't play more, just for toughness and rebounding, and he actually did a very good job in this game rebounding, and came in with a little bit of grittiness that I think we needed. So it was good to see him play, because I think he's gonna be a big that we need. That's that's pretty much it.
I think that's a good synopsis. We can move on to the first of 2 real shellackings the Celtics put on. Next game, Celtics crushed the Wizards 126-107. I don't think that final score is really indicative of how this game went, because it was really over.
It had to be one of the most boring games. I will give the Wizards credit. I thought they just looked horrible until last night I watched the Pacers. And the Pacers made the Wizards look better. And the Pacers, with Halliburton was out. So that is the one, but I don't even know with him what they're going to do. Like, they were just horrendous.
Well, anyway, let's focus on the Wizards.
Yes, the Wizards. I don't even know.
Yeah, this team is just really going to stink.
I don't even know. Who were they missing? They were missing somebody. Gafford. I guess the announcers were talking about Gafford and a little bit of more size that they would have with Gafford.
I think they were grasping for straws of what to talk about with this team, because they are just going to be bad. There's no hiding that this team is really going to stink.
I just feel really sad for Jordan Poole, who is a good offensive player, but not a great defensive player. He's tiny.
Correct.
He's a small, and he was picked on a lot defensively. So defensively, he just struggles, and there's not enough around him. And Kyle Kuzma, he's pretty good. I don't know. I
Yeah, but
thought they
those
had a
two guys
few.
are their leaders. Like, you
Yeah.
can't have those two guys leading your team. Those are like
No, that's
accessory
yeah. Yeah.
players.
Agreed. Agreed. Well, Jordan Poole could be good with the right people. I mean, he was good with the Warriors.
Yeah, but they
Um,
got rid of him for a reason.
yeah. I think it's his attitude and his tiny defense. I mean, he's just so
Correct.
small. So
Yeah.
small.
Yeah, he was Tyus Jones was a -31, but Jordan Poole was next at -29 in the plus minus.
My
Poor
God.
Danilo Gallinari, who did not sign up to be on this team.
Yeah.
Um,
He was put in quite
and
early too.
yeah,
And Mike Muscala didn't even play.
no,
I think I would have given him a chance at this point. Maybe he just didn't gel or I don't know.
yeah, and I mean,
But the
I'll tell you, as someone who didn't really watch uh all of this game, the biggest plus for me, just looking at the box score, is only Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown was the only starter that played 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Huge. Last year, we would blow these teams out, and stupid Tatum would be in the fourth quarter, and it would just for him to only play 28 minutes. And again, we'll get to the Pacers games kind of the same way. Take them out. Don't make them play these
But why do
meaningless
you
minutes.
think we could take them out? Look what they got.
What do you mean? Oh,
Look
well,
at
yeah.
they got their
Well,
points,
no,
right?
I mean, we'll get to the next game. That wasn't the case, though.
And the talk was they were leaving him in. He really didn't have that great of a fourth quarter, if I remember correctly. They were leaving him in. Yeah. Okay. So, oh, he didn't play the fourth. I'm sorry. What was his third
Yeah.
quarter? So his third quarter, he was 1 for 3 from 3. His shooting percentage started to go down the third quarter. He was lights out first and second. And they were saying 50-point game. And it almost felt like even when they were playing, it was too long. Like it was such a blowout and such a, that you just wanted them out. It was an uncomfortable feeling. Even in the third quarter, it was an uncomfortable feeling.
But yeah,
and then I will say the Wizards bench or whoever did not make our bench look very good.
No, they outscored us 32-18 in the fourth quarter. But that's why I said at the beginning the final score was not indicative of what actually happened in this game, because it was over way before the
the starters were in control handily for a long time. But then I will say our bench players did not impress in my opinion.
No, but I think
they were okay.
I think that's why they're not getting playing time in
Peyton
games
Pritchard
that aren't like
was
this.
0 for 5 in the fourth quarter.
0 for 8 in total for the game. Didn't score. 0 points.
Yeah. No,
7
I was
rebounds,
just
6 assists.
But fourth quarter. He wasn't horrendous, but he definitely wasn't fantastic. Sam Hauser 3 for 9, 2 for 8 from 3 points. So he wasn't very good. So it just wasn't a very good highlight for our bench players, I didn't think. But it's hard to critique, right? Because
exactly.
Hard to critique the game in general.
Sure.
There was no defense. Zero defense.
But when you have Kuzma and Poole leading your team and Tyus Jones, who's also tiny, how are you going to play defense? This team is going to flat out stink.
Well, you think that until the next game.
Well, yes. That brings us to the game you were at. Your season debut. Woo! In the stands at TD.
Yeah. It was fun. It was really fun.
Fun game, I guess, for the Celtics to just absolutely dismantle the Pacers. 104-155, a 51-point victory for the Boston Celtics. When you shoot 13% from 3 and the Celtics shoot 57% from 3, you're probably going to lose by 50.
Yeah. Well, I will say it was, I think when the starters came out 30 something, the bench players were outstanding. Outstanding. Pritchard and Hauser. Pritchard driving and passing out to Hauser. I think that had to be, 3 times, 4 times where Hauser hit a 3. He was
5 for 6 from 3.
They looked so good together. Yeah, it was the bench really stood out. They had some great dunks, great. Yeah, I don't know. It was just it
Mhm.
was fun to watch, and I think that kept it entertaining in the fourth quarter because you weren't expecting certain things, and they just really,
Yeah.
I was shocked at how many people were still there and how loud, how much
The
energy
crowd.
there was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the bench too, all the starters were cheering. It was so entertaining
Mhm.
that, the offense was so entertaining that even the starters were on their feet. Like
Yeah.
it was fun at times, really fun at times. So it was really good to see them, I thought. The sun is like
But
shining right in.
in terms of Hauser, this is what kind of frustrates me.
Yes.
He goes 5 for 6 from 3, and everyone's like, "Oh, Hauser," but it's like he went like 5 for or like 3 for 17 or something in the first 4 games or the first 3 games before this. It's like
So I will
I
say,
think I said this in the Lost podcast. He always shows up in games that don't matter. Always.
yes,
Every time he hits these shots, it's always meaningless.
but to give him credit and to give Pritchard credit, he was wide open because Pritchard drove, and I mean, he really drove deep and then great
Yeah.
passes out to him, wide open, great shot. We don't do that. This is 9 times out of 10 for Hauser. He'll get a pass, but it's really not a play meant for him. He's not completely open. And it's
Yeah,
a
but
rushed shot.
sure,
But
but when you're on this team, you're not gonna have if you're Sam Hauser, you're not gonna have plays ran for you. It's just not gonna happen.
I
You
do
have
think
too many good players.
I
You
do
have to
think
make the
that
most
with
of
the
your opportunities with this
passers,
team,
I
and
think,
time
yeah,
again, he does not.
I I think with the passers and the guards that we have, we should be able to open people up like that a little bit more. We should have a few plays that they get clear looks when they come in, even if it's
Sure,
just
but
two a
I
game.
would argue, yeah, but I think he gets 2 a game.
The last
I
few
mean,
games,
against
not
the Heat,
quite as
or no, which game?
He gets a
He was
lot
0 for
of
4 in the opening night.
sort of Tatum gets stuck,
He was
and
2 for 9
Sam
against the
happens to
Wizards.
be. He gets a lot of kind of Tatum has 2 or 3 out of him bad passes out to him. He doesn't. They're not really the greatest passes at times.
Yeah,
I
but again,
agree.
you just
I'm
have
not
to make the
saying,
most
yeah,
of those
yeah.
opportunities.
I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar by any means, but I do think there is a difference when a play is set up for you and you get a clear pass and you're open and you make your shot. And that's kind of what
But
happened this game.
look at someone like a PJ Tucker. Same thing. Never has a play ran for him. Is somehow always in the corner. It doesn't matter the pass. Always hits that shot. It's like
He's open a lot though because nobody's really expecting him on offense, right? They're
correct.
covering
But Sam
somebody else,
Hauser
so
should be
he's
the same
open.
way when you have all those guys in there.
Sometimes he's in with Tatum or Jalen and they can't pass. I mean, they don't pass, or
But
their
he does
passes
get
are
open
terrible.
looks. To say he doesn't get open looks with them in there is just not true.
Not as many as he should, I think. But yeah, I just don't think we are as skilled at, I'm moving because the sun's in my eyes. I just don't think we're as skilled at those passes as we should be. That's
Sure.
all I'm saying.
I mean,
You know,
yes.
he's usually in there when it's Tatum time,
Yeah.
right? They come in and either Jalen or Tatum is with them and it's their time.
They had a
and
streak
they're,
last year. You might want to get closer to the mic again because I can't really.
All right. Sorry.
That up. The sun is like right there.
That was when you moved it, it got a lot better. But
Better?
yeah.
Okay. All right. But anyway, it was another kind of difficult game to evaluate, I think, the team on.
Agreed.
I mean, it was no defense, and the Pacers are tiny as well. I mean, Jason Tatum had his way. There was nobody playing defense in him. Bruce Brown, who is shorter than him. I mean,
that should be the case every week with Tatum. Who guards Tatum? He's 6'10".
Yeah, I don't know.
Who guards Tatum like that?
They double team him. These people
Sure,
didn't have,
but
this
they
team
have
did
to.
not have anybody super tough. Neither team.
No,
The Wizards.
they're bad teams.
and
They're both bad
they
teams.
didn't.
I mean,
And they didn't double team him, but it was tough to double team because everyone was shooting pretty well.
Yeah.
We have a really stacked starting five. So it's really hard,
Correct.
I think, to double team. So I think, yeah. But he looked like, I mean, you're going to see teams where Tatum does not get his way the way that he did this team. He just took everybody to the hoop easily. McConnell was on him this big.
Yeah. Not good. He was
no,
their
I
high
think
scorer.
McConnell was their high scorer. Yeah,
He
you know
was.
something's wrong when yeah.
But
But even
also-
with Halliburton, I don't know.
A DMP for Tice.
Agreed.
How many second round picks do we need, Pacers? Get him here.
Agreed.
Want him back in Boston. A
I don't know.
DMP.
The only one that didn't
They
get
all
help.
these
Yeah, I
scrubs.
don't understand. Dad and I were saying the same thing. Why not play him? One, his 3 was pretty good previously, so you have that because they were
Indiana.
they were 5 for 37 in the whole game for threes.
Indiana, we have a treasure trove of second round picks. Give us Tice. I
You're not gonna
want
play him.
Tice now. Why
Agreed.
not?
Yeah.
We need that big guy. We already talked. I think we talked about this in the Lost Pod too. We need a Tice.
Yep. Yeah. It was a fun game because of the offense. Very little defense and 155
It's always better
points.
to win by 50 than lose by 50.
150. Yes. They just wanted to get out of there. I felt so bad for that team. It's like,
I think the
fun
last
for our team.
The last Celtics game I went to was also a Pacers blowout. So
Yeah, it's going to be a struggle for them this
not
year.
this bad.
I feel bad. Yeah. They were 13% at 3.
Yes, 13% is really terrible.
I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, yeah. And we were 57, which is high for us. So,
Yes.
So, yeah, it's a struggle. They had 101 shots to our 95. So, I mean, it's not like they didn't have shots. It's just, painful for them. I thought, there was one point when they made a 3 where I actually clapped.
Pity clap.
Yeah, like, oh God, thank goodness somebody's made a 3. I had to catch myself like, oh, come on, somebody make a 3. This is a professional team. Yeah. So again, very hard, I think, in the last 2 games I wish I had a better memory of the Heat game because that was a great game. That was a really good game.
Yeah.
Just the pressure on defense. Their offense at times looked really good. Our defense looked pretty good. I thought a good game. We didn't shoot as well at times as we hoped in the beginning and then got bailed out in the end. But these last 2 games, it's very hard to tell what's going to happen.
It's getting
really
getting a little deja vu from last year. Start from last year. We lit the world on fire to start. We looked like the juggernauts and just couldn't sustain
Kyrie has an injury. Jimmy Butler has an injury. Who's the other one that was just out? Somebody else. I'll think of it in a minute. But anyway, the injury list is kind of up there. Seems like minor ones, but so far so good for us. Nobody's been. And that's kind of what I would do during these games is even Porzingis, I think, played a little too much for my liking. For somebody coming off an injury
and the Pacers game all under 30 minutes for the starters.
Yeah.
That is big.
Allen played 11 minutes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. Do not play them a minute more.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's what I love to see.
Jalen did not shine this game, I will say, offensively. He was struggling a lot.
It did not matter.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying I kind of feel for him. It's kind of a hot or cold thing with him these days.
Yeah. But I mean, when you have all these guys, you can kind of live with that. I mean,
who did not struggle, who is so efficient? Drew. He's just on. I don't know.
Derek's White. Derek White's dad is on Twitter.
Yeah.
And he came up with I don't know why, but he calls the Derek White and Drew Holiday the stock exchange.
That's what he calls it.
Yeah. It's a good game for the stock exchange.
Yeah, they both were really good. And mostly for the number of minutes they played, the number of shots, very efficient. I mean, Drew had 7 rebounds. Yeah.
7 rebounds, 4 assists. Yeah.
Yep. Derek had 4 assists, 18 points, 4 for 7 from 3. Yeah. They just had, I thought, a very quick,
Yeah.
efficient.
So far, so good for
efficient
the new
game
look
and
Celtics.
good defense too. Yeah, fun. It was very fun. Next, who's next?
Up next, little road trip. We're at
This
the
weekend.
Nets, at the Timberwolves, and
Nets
at
this weekend.
76ers. Yeah, Nets
Yeah.
Saturday,
Yeah.
Timberwolves Monday.
No, I don't
at
think
Sixers
either of those are going to
Wednesday.
be a problem.
You never know. You never know in the NBA.
Yeah,
There's cold
I don't think
nights,
either.
but
Yeah.
Which one are you looking forward to the most? Those
Games?
three. Yeah,
Oh, of those three, who? Nets, Timberwolves, who?
Sixers.
Sixers. Yeah.
Sixers. Even sans James Harden now.
I think. What are the Clippers thinking? It's going to be so interesting. Of course, they don't have anything to lose except for a lot of money that
Correct.
you're paying him.
Yeah,
I don't get it. But another sort
They're
of
the richest owner in the league. They're not too worried about that.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Do you read the Lakers last night beat the Clippers, and I guess LeBron went off.
Yeah, in overtime.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Bucks struggling too. Apparently their defense is in shambles, which
Oh, what did they
I know.
do? They gave up
Exactly.
Drew. I don't know who would give him up.
I saw someone on Twitter said they're one Drew Holiday defender type away from a championship team.
I don't know why you would ever seriously. And I know Damian Lillard like offensively, but you got offense. Like, I don't know. It just shocks
Even before
me.
the Celtics
At
got
this
Drew,
point,
I was like, I don't know how much better this makes
he's
them.
always been one of my favorite. He is so tough. Watch him play defense.
So solid. No one can move him. He's like a brick wall.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And who's going to stop Damian Lillard? Oh, wait. Drew.
The stock exchange. The stock exchange.
It's like I don't know what they were thinking. Yeah.
I think,
crazy.
well, there were Giannis made like some weird cryptic comments about leaving. He said like, I want to compete for a championship, and like, if like Milwaukee has that vision as well, then I would love to be here, but I'm gonna be like wherever I think like gives me the best chance to win a championship. And I think the front office kind of panicked and were like, make a move. And yeah, well, I don't know.
Yeah. They're both. I mean, he's gonna.
I mean, they'll still be good. They'll still be there in the end. No need to panic yet. No need to get too high on the Celtics after 4 games. But
yes, they
can't
were
complain with what you see.
No, not even a little bit. He would. Yeah. To this day, I think he's my favorite Celtic right now.
Already 4 games in. He's played 4 games in a Celtics uniform.
He is the quiet. He's so
You're
good.
Like, Marcus,
he's just so good. Oh, wait, you know what? I think I'll score right now. Like just out of the blue. I'm going to pass. I'll let you guys be stuck. Oh, I think I'm going to score right now. Just like at will. I don't know. I just, then I'll play the best defense I can. I'll get some rebounds. Oh, wait, I can pass too. I don't know. If I were to pick out of all of them, he might be the guy I keep. If it wasn't for his age, I guess he is 33, but amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Dame? Dame's at least 33, right? Let's see how old Dame is. He's 33 as well.
Yeah. So, well, there you go.
Lateral move.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. When do you head for Switzerland?
We are actually going to the marathon. Oh, wait, a couple quick comments about the rest of the league.
Yeah,
Number
go
one,
ahead.
a shout out to my good friend Marcus Smart. I'm so sad for him.
The winless Grizzlies.
Yeah. 0-5, and it's just so sad. The whole thing. No Adams, no Jaw, no, I mean, Bain, I guess they have, but I feel so sad for them. And then Grant, 25 points, high score for the Mavericks win last night. Starter right now for them. And he was 7 from 9 from three. Kyrie was out, so obviously that gave him probably some more shots, but very efficient. I think he took 10 total shots in the whole night and ended up being high score. So good for him. I'm happy for him. He is a hard worker. As much as anybody didn't like his attitude, hard worker, talented guy. So I'm super excited for him.
I agree.
So yeah, those are my
Just look around at the former Celtics.
my shout outs. Yep. And I think is Rob hurt?
He is, I believe. Oh boy.
Everybody loved Rob Williams, and I said he's a role player, not a starter. And he's impressive at times, but he falls on the floor.
He's the Time Lord. He runs at his own time.
Yes. So anyway, poor guy. Anyway, those are my shout outs. Sorry.
Nope.
Leave for New York Saturday, the marathon. Kelsey's running in the New York Marathon Sunday. And then Monday night, we fly out from New York City to Geneva.
Wait.
Hmm.
You know, Saturday, Celtics are at the Nets, right?
I know. I'm embarrassed to be on Shamrock Talk and tell you what was planned. It wasn't my idea. We're going to see the Broadway show.
Unbelievable.
What's the one? I'll think of the name. I can't remember. It was Greg's idea. It's going to be fun, but yes, I do know the Nets are right there. Shamrock Talk shame. Shamrock Talk shame. But I'll record it and watch it later.
Yep.
So I'll be able to see the game. But yeah, we're going to, oh my God, the 80s movie. The trilogy there. No,
I have no idea.
I'll think of it in a little while. Anyway, one of Dad's favorite movies. So we're going to the Broadway show at 8:30. So yes, we will miss the game, unfortunately. But yes, the Nets are there. We did notice that after we've had the tickets for a while, probably before the schedule came out, to be honest with you.
Yep.
So anyway, then Geneva, then Frankfurt to see the Patriots play in Frankfurt, Germany. So
next weekend.
Yeah. So we'll be gone for a week and a half. Should be
very
fun.
Nice. Yeah. All right.
And
well, yeah, I'll actually not this weekend, but the next weekend I'll be gone to Ushuaia, Argentina, the end of the world.
Penguins.
Going to see the Penguins.
Going to see the Penguins. The traveling Shamrock Talk.
Yeah, so we are all over the place for the next couple of weeks. Bear with us. Maybe we can scooch in a recording next week at some point, but we'll see how you're doing on
daytime,
the other continent.
Although I don't know what
we are worldwide, as I say every week.
Yeah.
Worldwide, 3 continents in 1 week.
Even in Geneva.
Even in Buenos Aires, even in Boston, New York, worldwide. Any closing comments before we?
Not for the Celtics. I think it's difficult the last two games to
again. It's kind of
give any criticism, to give any.
We did the same
they all
thing
look
last
good.
We started so hot.
I feel stacked right now. Don't you feel stacked? I feel like our team is stacked.
But again, we did the same thing last year. I'm wary and skeptical.
Yeah. Only team that I've watched that I fear personally is Nuggets. I have to say.
Yeah. They're really good.
I've been watching different games. They lost last night. But it happens. But they're probably still pretty good contender for the national championship if everybody stays healthy. So that's the only team I really think. I have not watched the Warriors with Chris Paul.
Neither have I, actually.
So yeah, that's all the comments I have. I think I feel stacked. I feel lucky, and we look good the last couple games. So
yep,
we'll see.
All right. Well, this has been Shamrock Talk opening the season. I'm gonna flow this right into our opening day episode. If anyone wants to continue and hear our thoughts about the Knicks opening day, Porzingis' historic debut. So feel free to stick around for that, or we're gonna end the episode here. As usual, like I said, worldwide. You can find us on Twitter at Shamrock Talk Pod, at Instagram at Shamrock Talk, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcast.
I'm blinded.
You're now blinded. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the sun coming in on Mom.
Sun blinding me.
Slowly. moving her away from the microphone, but
All right.
that's it.
That's
we will
it.
maybe see you next week.
Yeah.
If you don't hear from us next week, 2 weeks from now, we're going to be Mondays.
On a schedule. I will be home. I will be organized. We will be regular.
We'll be coming out regularly for most of the season on Mondays. No one believes us. I've made many promises that have not been kept. So we're going to try our best here, people.
Non-sponsor, Emergency Immune.
Our unofficial sponsor is now Emergency and Orange Juice.
There were many, many people coughing on the train downtown last night. So trying to keep my immune
Brought
system
to you by
up.
Emergency, the unofficial sponsor of this week's Shamrock Talk. We'll get an unofficial sponsor every week.
Yep, Emergency today.
And that's
right.
it. Go Celtics.
No injuries. Go Celtics.
Hello, and welcome to Shamrock Talk, the internet's #1 mother-son Celtics podcast. I'm your host, Jake Olin, here once again with my mother, Karen Olin.
Woo!
I know we said we're going to Sundays. Eventually we'll go to Sundays, but we have a couple conflicts, a couple weeks before we can get there. So we're recording this right after opening night. So yeah, we'll have a couple weeks where we'll be kind of scrambling for recording time before we will eventually get to a consistent Sunday schedule. I promise. But Celtics win 108-104 in New York over the Knicks. Lots to talk about here. A lot of interesting stuff. The game just ended, so we're fresh off. I think we have many thoughts. Where do you want to start? First impressions, new look Celtics. What do you got?
Let's start Porzingis. What'd you think?
Porzingis, best debut for anyone ever in a Celtics jersey. 30 points.
34.
Team high plus 13.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. 30, you're right.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was fantastic as advertised.
Agreed.
Yeah, basically everything you thought he was going to be. I mean, I think, obviously the shooting was great, and I thought he gelled well offensively with just about everybody. I mean, still some defensive concerns, not big enough to really be guarding the other guys and interior, but I mean,
4 blocks.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah. No, I thought offensively he was great, and I think once we figure out how to play with him too. I mean, this is new.
Yeah,
they don't even know how to feed him quite yet. I mean, how many threes? 5 for 9 from 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure he's going to be our 3-point shooter. I'm just going to say that.
I think he will be.
I think he will have threes, but I don't think he's going to have that as many threes.
I don't know, because he's going to be the 3-point guy.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because he's the guy. He's an off-ball guy.
Yeah.
You don't give him the ball in isolation, or he's either setting the pick and rolling or sliding out to the 3. I think he's going to be involved a lot in that way, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. If he keeps up being the 3-point guy, I love it, but it'll be
started off hot, ended hot, kind of disappeared in the middle, I think, but so did most of our team.
I think he's thin. It's going to be interesting against Embiid and Giannis.
Correct.
And we don't have that guy. Mm-hmm. And that I think is going to be and rebounding. I think that's why they kept Hartenstein in against him, because and he's not that good.
No.
And I think somebody good down there against him is going to give him a little bit of a harder time. So that's going to be, I think, a little bit of a struggle for him, but outstanding. I mean, 3-point shooting. And his attitude, fabulous.
Yeah.
Like even when things weren't going his way or something went wrong. Yeah. So I like
agree.
him. I like him. I think he's a great addition.
I agree.
And I think it's only going to get better once we figure out how to feed him, how, to play with him. And we're just getting started with him. So it'll be fun.
All right. Then we go to the other newcomer.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday. Not as impressive.
I love him.
I love him too.
I think he is going to be outstanding. I think he started out strong.
Agreed. He came out even defensively,
but I think
all
he's
over
got
the place.
a tough role.
Agreed.
Really, I mean, he's a point guard.
Correct. But you have a lot of ball
And
dominant guys that are also
Jason Tatum brings
point
the ball
guards.
up.
Exactly.
Jaylen Brown brings the ball up.
Derek
Derek White
White,
brings the ball up. I mean,
Richard, a
so
million
finding
options.
his role
Yeah.
is going to be hard offensively.
Agreed.
Defensively,
He's a stud. Yeah.
he's going to be
no
a guy.
question.
He's going to guard every
1 through
great
5.
player on
Yeah.
the other teams. I mean, so he will quickly become our number one defensive guy if he's not already. But offensively, I think he's, unfortunately got his work cut out for him. So it's
Yeah.
not just him figuring out where to be and how to be and who to feed. And early on, he tried to make some of those passes and they were stolen. We don't cut like other teams, obviously. We're trying to be
Never.
that team,
Oh, my
but
goodness.
we don't cut like other teams. So
5 out every time. It's like,
I think he's got a lot of work
agreed. Just
cut out for him.
How many possessions can we have where we just go 5 out on the 3-point line and nobody moves?
Yeah.
It's like, kills us.
Tatum's getting double, triple teamed. Maybe we should cut.
Yeah.
Like what?
every time. It's
It just drives me
brutal.
crazy.
It's brutal.
So, and not that
But it's
Tatum
also
is the greatest passer out of
No.
it, but if you don't move,
exactly.
you don't
But
get
it's
anything.
no one helps him.
Yeah.
It's
Who was it? Drew Holiday was the
had
one that
cut.
cut.
They had a nice cut.
And Tatum actually
had
had
a
a
nice
fabulous pass out
Easy
of it.
bucket.
So,
Agreed.
then
It's there
hoping-
if they can figure it out.
Hoping.
But we've been through
But
this.
quickly-
We've seen this movie before. Is the
Yes.
issue?
Well, I talk about the playoffs, and what do? You double and triple team Tatum, and we're probably going to win this game. A good team,
Yeah.
right? That's what you do. And what did this team do? Immediately they figured it out.
Especially
We
down the stretch.
double-
I wouldn't say immediately though.
Yes.
It's down the stretch. They
First game
started
of the
making
year.
a run. That's what they
double
did.
and triple
Exactly.
team, and we potentially could win.
Correct.
So
And Tatum was great. I mean, he
Yeah.
played well. His same old
Yes.
Tatum. He's still
Yes.
great, but same issues. The same couple things
Yeah.
that just. It's
by the third time you come down the court with the ball,
yeah.
they know what you're doing, and they're going to double and
But
triple
it
team
seems
you.
to just like cascade with us. It's like the team hits the other team hits a couple tough shots, couple big threes, they
Yeah.
come back, it gets to a close game, 1-point tie, they're up, and we just deer in headlights, the same thing every time. 5 out, Tatum gets
Yeah.
the ball, he's slow, they double team, can't pass, turnover. It's like the same. When it was going poorly, it just felt like we were watching the same team as years past.
They shot 43% to our 30% at 3.
For
And
three.
that,
Yeah, they did. I mean,
mean-
they lit it up and
that.
they